Oh, hello everyone and welcome back to another video. That's right, this is your yearly Khmer New Year video. And people said you shouldn't do that, Dave. I said, I want to make an hour-long video of me just walking, uninterrupted, unedited, around Pub Street and then further out to where I live to show people the good time that is Khmer New Year. And they said, you don't want to do that. The YouTube algorithm will hate you. Nobody is going to watch. And just because I'm rebellious enough, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. So here it is, my annual Khmer New Year video. You'll see it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fuzzy sometimes, the not quite clear, the little bit darker than what it should be sometimes. You know. But, my phone was in a plastic case that I was recording through, so it's not going to be the clearest, obviously. But you'll get a sense of what goes on down here. It is such a great time. It's one of my favorite times of the year here in Cambodia, and I absolutely love it. Remember, if you do happen to watch this and you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. And always remember that you can help support the channel. We have links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com. If you want to buy me a coffee or just send a donation, we rely on that. We love you guys. We love our supporters. And we always thank you. Every little bit helps. And of course, you can always purchase one or more of my books. And the link for that is also in the description. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves here, and the only question is, with the voiceover that I'm doing, because there was so much music, it was so loud, and a lot of it was copyrighted, so I had to mute the video and do a voiceover. But the thing you have to ask yourself is, well, can you talk for a whole hour about stuff with Khmer New Year going on? Oh, that sounds like a challenge to me, and I'm always up for a good challenge. But the answer is I don't know. Hey, there might be pauses in this video. There might be places where you don't really hear anything. But you have to remember that Khmer New Year is such a great event. On December 31st in America, we always celebrate the standard New Year on January 1st. And, people are partying, people are having a good time. But I've been here 7 years. This is my 7th Khmer New Year. And it never fails to amaze me just how much more fun it is. How, no holds barred. Like, everything is just full-on fun. Look at all these people waving. And I want to tell you about this. Throughout this video, you're going to see people waving. You're going to see people giving the peace sign. You're just going to see all sorts of things. And it's not because I initiated it. I was just there with my camera in hand, pointing it hither and thither. And they choose to respond how they choose to respond. But the thing is, the Khmer people, as I've said in many videos, is always so friendly. They are always so welcoming and open. And, and I want to say something about this. Yes, big water fights. Like, if you're going downtown, you are going to get wet. You're going to get soaked. Like, not just from the water guns, but people have hoses. People have buckets full of water with just another smaller bucket that they dip in and throw it at you. Some of the water is warm. Some of the water is very cold because it has ice in it for whatever reason. You are going to get sprayed all over from head to toe. And the younger people, and that's, not the young kids and not the older people, but the in-betweens, like the teenagers, especially if you're a foreigner, they'd love to aim for your, at least if you're a guy. I don't know about if you're a female, but let me know in the comments if you've had this experience. But they love to aim right for the crotch, right to the nether regions. They try to break those twigs and berries right in half with their spray. So you have to be prepared for that, of course. But it's all in good fun. And of course, as I just showed you on my arm, the talcum powder or baby powder, whatever it is, it's and you're going to see that occasionally also, my hand swiping across the screen just to clear it out. But yeah, the talcum powder, they like to rub it in your face, in your hair, on your arms, on your chest, on your legs, wherever they can. But believe it or not, it does have a higher significance than just being about the party or being about the good time. The water traditionally is supposed to represent the cleansing away of your sins from the past year. And my God, I thought, if I'm in a country where somebody can spray you with a water gun that costs $2.50 and your sins are wiped away, well, sign me up for that, because yeah, I think it would take 3 or 4 to wipe away all my sins. But I'm down for that. And the talcum powder is supposed to be a sign of luck. They're marking you for good luck and prosperous new year. Because as I said, you have to remember, this is their New Year celebration here. And I think it's a lot more fun. It's just a lot more, it's wild, it's frenetic, it's insane sometimes, but it's just a lot more fun than an American traditional New Year, you know. Everybody loves the foreigners. Everybody loves getting the foreigners. Even other foreigners sometimes. And it did not rain today, but look at the streets. It's just glistening with water. It's just flooding with water from all the good times that are going on. But I also want to remind you that if you are a foreigner and you wave them off like no, 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 generally, for the most part, they'll avoid spraying you with any water. You always have them few grumpy foreigners that don't want to get wet, that don't want to celebrate. I'm just coming down here to get my beer and my beef, it looked like, and now these people are just squirting me with water guns, and I'm a miserable old freak. You know, you always get those kind of people too. But my advice for anybody in Cambodia during Khmer New Year, especially in Siem Reap, Phnom Penh, Battambang, all them places, is like, if you don't want to get wet, listen, it's their country. This is how they celebrate. If you don't want to get wet, either order your food in or just don't go out. That's it. Just stay holed up in your little hotel room. Order some beer from Food Panda from whatever market you can, and wait for a few days until it's all over. But luckily, I and many others are not like that. People here are happy. They're dancing. They're smiling. They love what's going on. For some people, this is their respite, their big respite for the year from their jobs that are normally boring and monotonous. And you know, instead of being inside the bar just serving drinks to whoever walks in, they can be outside with a big 55-gallon container full of ice and beer and dancing and having fun and trying to get business that way, you know. But as this video goes on, you're going to notice that it does get darker. It does get a little blurry sometimes, but like I said, I was committed. When somebody said, you can't do an hour-long video of Khmer New Year. That's crazy. Yeah, well, crazy is what I am, crazy is what I love. But look at all them barrels there that you see, that you just saw. Yeah, those are all filled with water. Some of the businesses downtown, they have like 8 or 9 or 10 driven in. Fill them with water just so they don't run out during the 3 days. Because there are enough people down there, obviously, to cover that. But it is such a good time. It is so awesome to see the locals and the foreigners. And everybody's mixing together. Everybody is shooting water at each other. And they're all laughing and having a good time. And I believe I said this already, but look, everywhere you go, people want to fist bump, people want to give you a high five, people want to give you the peace sign, they want to smile and wave. They really appreciate that you're enjoying it, the festivities, as much as they are. And yeah, Pub Street is crazy. Crazier than most of the rest of Siem Reap. That's where the majority of people are, especially the tourists and other foreigners. But as you'll see in this video, you can get off the beaten path and you can go around that area, which I've tried to do in this video. I've tried to go not only down by Pub Street and the surrounding area, but I've gone, as you'll see coming up, I've gone outside the area. And it's all the same. So this isn't just a touristy thing. This is a national holiday. And people are out there enjoying themselves, having a good time. And just think, by this time, if you're one of those people who want to retire here, and you're thinking, wow, that looks like a lot of fun, looks like something I'd be interested in, just think, one day you'll be here. It won't just be me, it'll be you and me taking that walk, getting that baby powder thrown on us, getting soaked in water. As a matter of fact, when I'm making this after this video happened, when I came home, I looked at myself in the mirror, and my forehead and both of my cheeks, all the way in my beard, were just covered in baby powder. My arms, my clothes, the backpack I had on was just nothing but baby powder. But let me give you a few tips here, if you're going to do that. All right. First of all, one that I failed to perform this year, but buy a pair of plastic see-through sunglasses. Not regular sunglasses, just the plastic, like safety glasses, almost. And they sell them everywhere during this time of year. And the reason for that is that a lot of this water here is unclean, and they get it right from the tap. And you're going to get a good amount on your face and in your eyes. I remember last year, after I came back from downtown, I had, like, my eyes were red and itchy for like 3 days after the celebrations. Because you want to protect your eyes, of course, and sometimes it gets right in there. I didn't do it this year, so I don't know what to expect tomorrow or the next day, but yeah, you always want to try to protect your eyes, and don't think you're being targeted specifically, especially if you're a foreigner. Yes, they love hitting foreigners more than any other people, I think. But if you're down there, they kind of think, oh, he's expecting it or she's expecting it, you know. Uh, but it's anybody. As you notice, most of the people doing all the spraying of the water and everything, uh, they're local. They just, and they're in one place. Like, they don't follow you. But if you're walking by, you're considered fair game. And every year there's a certain amount of people who are like, they need to ban this. They need to stop this because I don't like it. And, yeah, you know what? Yeah, just go back home. Just go back home. You know, go to your favorite bar, drink your keg of beer, and just go back home afterwards. That's the answer. See, I'm giving you answers. I'm helping you. And look at what I had to go through to make this video, just for you guys. Seriously, come on. You can be a little more appreciative. I did this for you. Of course, yes, I would have been down there anyway. Even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would have been down there anyway, but it wouldn't have been as much fun, I don't think. Because I could bring this energy and everything over to you guys. And that makes me happy. I mean, it's, you know, one thing I really like about Cambodia is that it's really a gay-friendly country. I love that about Cambodia. Because even as a straight man, I believe people should be who they are and have happiness like everyone else, right? I think this is something we can all agree on. They should just be happy, no matter what. Now, of course, with that being said, I have known some very judgmental gay people in my life. I was hanging out with a gay friend once, and he looked at me, and he said, you know what? There's no such thing as a straight man. He said, inside every straight man is a gay man waiting to come out. And I was like, whoa, you know, that's problematic because I can't say the same thing back to him like that. Otherwise, I'd be considered homophobic, right? So I was upset. I was angry. I was so mad, I immediately stopped sucking his dick. And I walked right out the door. That's how that's how angry I was. Yeah, just so you know. But it's weird being in a place where there's so many beautiful people, you know. I mean, there's a lot of good-looking people in Siem Reap. Seriously, there's an astounding amount of really pretty people here. And, you know, I don't like hanging out with pretty people because they can get away with things that I can't. And I don't like that. Like, a pretty person can go up to a group of kids on the street that they don't know, and they'll bend over and they'll be like, "Aw, aren't you kids so adorable? I love kids so much. You are great." And the parents of those kids are off to the side, beaming with pride. "Oh, look, honey, the pretty person liked our child. Aren't we great?" But then you get somebody that looks like me going up to that same group of kids that I don't know, and I bend down and I say, "Oh, you kids are so adorable. I love kids so much." And the same parents are there whispering to each other, "Call the police. Get this guy out of here." You know? Same intent, just different visual, I guess you can say. Yeah. So I don't really hang around with a lot of pretty people. But you know you've been called ugly all your life. And I admit I'm an ugly man. I made my peace with that. Yeah, I'm really good with that. I'm aware of my faults, as well as my good things that are good about me, you know. Uh, but I grew up, you know. You got to understand, like I lived in a small town in Michigan, and often when me and my friends on the weekends, if we would go bar hopping, we would run into the same people over and over again, the same faces in all these bars because it was so small. And there was this woman I knew, and she was one of those, you know, I don't want to shame any woman for what she does, but she was a real kind of slut, kind of like she was always drunk off her ass, always high on something, a real big drug user. And every weekend she would go trolling in all these bars for some strange dick, you know, to wrap up her weekend. She didn't care who, she didn't care about anything except getting some of that D. And she was one of those kind of girls, you know. And whenever she saw me, she would make it a point to come right up to me and yell in my face, "Oh my God, you are so ugly. I bet you never been laid before." And one day, I remember one day I just had enough, so I got right back and got right in her face, and I said, "Listen, Mom, I'll have you know that I've had sex with a lot of different women, all right? And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but a couple of those times, it's even been consensual. So, who's the loser now? You know?" And by the way, if you laughed at that sexual assault joke, you're a bad person, and you are going to hell. I just wanted to let you know that. You shouldn't be laughing at that. You damn sinners. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun making these videos. Yeah, I'm a little drunk, but it was the whole experience of being down on Pub Street, you know. And oh yeah, look at this place here. I love this place. Here's your little cultural respite from the action. Look at all that stuff they have in there. Isn't that gorgeous? That is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And you know, sometimes people talk about the you know, you will see things here that you probably you won't see, at least back in the United States, like kids on bicycles sometimes, like small kids, like 6 or 7 years old, and they're coming back from the store. They have a bag in their hand, and inside that bag is like a 6-pack of beer for their mom or dad or you know, whoever. Yeah, because if a kid goes to the store and wants beer, people are going to sell them beer. Yeah, they don't care. Just give me the money. You can go away with the beer. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's child abuse. That's blah blah blah." But you know, this is the way it goes here. You know, the parents don't want to get on their motorbikes half smashed and go to the store. Well, they'll just send their kids down there. But a lot of that gets misconstrued, you know, because people are talking about, oh, child labor laws. They see kids doing the cooking at a food street stall or something like that, or working at their parents' business. And they're like, oh, that's child labor laws. You know, that kind of thing. And I'm like, listen, I mean, there are people in the United States who want to cancel our dollar stores. You know, this is the places we can go and get anything in there for like $1 or something. And they want to cancel the dollar stores because they say it helps to promote illegal child labor in certain countries. But I'm like, I don't say, I shop at the dollar store because I support child labor. It all depends on your perspective. What I like to say is, I shop at the dollar store because for just $1, I can help support a child in a developing country. And I think that's far more noble than the concept of you're doing something wrong, right? I mean, listen, I shopped at dollar stores before when I was back in America. And the thing is, it's a very weird place anyway. Like, I walked into a dollar store once, and I was surprised to see like 10 people in line. And I was surprised because it's a dollar store. Like, there's never a line. Being a cashier in a dollar store has to be one of the easiest customer service jobs in the world. Some guy comes up with 3 items and says, I want to buy these. And the cashier says, okay, that'll be $3. And the guy says, okay, here you go. And then you walk out. There's no complicated math involved here. Yeah. How many items you got? $1 each? Okay, give him the money. Get the hell out. That's basically a dollar store. And trust me, you don't have to. If you're a cashier in a dollar store, you don't have to worry about Visa or MasterCards or any kind of charge cards, because it's a dollar store. Like, nobody there has a credit card. Those people are like, credit card? Yeah, we don't have one of those. That's for those fancy people that shop at the Walmart down the street, The people that want to pay $4 for a pair of socks. I can get a bag of socks here for $1. I'm not going to go there. That's what the dollar store is for. So I was surprised to see like 10 people waiting in line. And come to find out, what happened was there was an old lady at the front. And she was trying to return an item. One item. And the cashier wouldn't let her return this dollar item because she did not have a receipt. And I was just thinking, I bought a lot of things for $1 in my life, and the last thing I need is a paper trail for anything I bought for $1. Like, what's going to happen? The IRS is going to call me into their offices one day and go, oh, hey, we got a bone to pick with you, mister. We got you on video buying a package of pens for $1 there, and you wrote them off as a business expense on your taxes, but we don't have a receipt for it, so you're looking at some hard time, buddy. Is that what's going to happen? Really? Probably not. And I felt sorry for the woman. But everybody in line was complaining, but nobody was trying to do anything about it. And I thought, we could take a poor man's GoFundMe right here. Everybody in line just pay 10 cents. Collect 10 cents each. Give it to the woman and just say, God, just leave. Just leave. And then we can all get on with our day. But then I thought, well, you know what? It's a dollar store, so generally people shop there don't have an extra $1 to spend anyway. So maybe they just didn't want to do it. But I do feel sorry for all the child labor that goes on around the world, of course. You don't want to see that. But I also think that at some point, Yeah, you got these people in certain countries that are poor, so poor that they have to send their children into factories to work just to make a few bucks a month. And I imagine it's got to be hard when they sign their children up for that kind of work. And they take some tests. You know, they send them off with a guy. He goes in, they take some tests. The guy comes out with your kid and goes, hey, well, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is, yeah, your kid didn't pass the test enough to be making, iPads or Nikes. He's not going to be working in those factories, but I think we can find a place for him in the factory that makes stuff for the dollar stores back in America. That's gotta suck, right? Like, that has to be the special education of factory workers, right? Kids all gotta wear helmets. They're putting screws into things with butter knives so they don't hurt themselves. And if they do a really good job, they get 2 minutes alone in front of the fan that's in there. That's gotta really suck. Yeah, that one hurts. But in case you don't know, living in Cambodia is great. It's you can see so much in the matter of a day, you know. You can, on any given day, you can go out and eat some delicious food. You can go out and see some beautiful temples. And then you can go to the river and watch a pack of stray dogs eat a dead homeless guy. Yeah, it's got it all, I'm telling you. And bring your kids for that last one. They'll have the greatest show and tell ever when they get back. Yeah. And you don't have to really worry about finding a girlfriend over here. I mean, if I can, anybody can. I'm old, I'm ugly, I'm broke. You name the negative adjective, and you're describing me. But there are some issues with that. There are some communication issues. Sanglai doesn't know very much English. I don't know very much Khmer language. So there are issues. But God bless her for trying. I appreciate her efforts. She knows certain words, but they don't make any sense. Like, I'll be standing there and she'll just come up to me and say something like, woman, house, dog, inside. Yeah? Oh, like, what? I don't understand. Can I get a preposition in there? Will you throw me a verb, something to help me make sense of the words you just spoke? And usually she doesn't, but I found that a lot of times I'll repeat it back to her in the form of a question, and that helps. Like, she'll come up and say, woman, house, dog, inside. And I'll be like, look at her and say, woman, house, dog, inside? Her eyes will light up and she'll go, yeah. She'll give me a thumbs up and then just walk away. And usually that's fine. That's great. But you know, sometimes that backfires. Sometimes that's not the right call. Because Wednesday morning, 7:30 or some crazy hour like that, she'll wake me up and I'll be like, what? And she'll say, oh. I mean, she'll look at me like I just grew a second head, like I'm the one in the wrong, you know. And she'll say, woman, house, dog, inside. Come on, let's go. And I'll be like, okay, we're going on an adventure. I have no idea where it's going. I have no idea about anything, but I'm like, well, let's just go. But one thing I have to explain to her is that if what you mean is that we're going to a woman's house and inside I get to have sex with her, okay, that's fine. But I don't understand where the dog part comes in, because I am not going to have sex with a dog on a weekday. I mean, come on. That's weekend type shit right there. You know, that's what I'm trying to say is save your energy, kids. Save all that wild stuff for the weekend. Don't do it on a weekday. You know. Yeah. But I found out in my years, in my many years on this earth, that I'm just not one for nostalgia. I know a lot of people my age and older, or around my age, they get nostalgic. You hear it all the time. They say things like, yeah, when I was a kid, I didn't have to wear a helmet to ride a bicycle. We drank out of hoses. We could stay out past midnight on our bikes. Our parents let us play with knives and guns. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I grew up the same way. But my thinking is different than theirs, because, the only reason our parents let us do all that was because they didn't care if we died or not. They just didn't care. That's all it was. It was like, like my parents, they didn't have a lot of, they couldn't afford all the mouths to feed. And so, my dad's solution was simple. He looked at me and went, "Happy birthday, son. Now here's a gun, a box of matches, and some illegal fireworks. Why don't you take all those out back by yourself and you just go nuts. You just do whatever the hell you want back there. You're only 6 years old once." They didn't care. They just hoped that natural selection did its job. That's what they cared about. And my parents, man, they let me hitchhike when I was barely in my teens. They let me hitchhike. And I'd be gone for days, or sometimes even a week or more. But when I came back, I'd come back in through the door, and they would never look at me with, concern or fear or even anger. I'd come in the door, they would look at me and go, "Oh, I can't believe he made it home again. Why can't we be more like those parents whose son is still missing?" They just didn't care. And my parents never taught me about stranger danger. Anybody remember that? Stranger danger? Yeah. The only thing my parents taught me about strangers was to call them sir or ma'am. So they were basically like, yeah, go ahead and get into the rape van, but be sure you call the driver sir, so you don't tarnish our family name. We don't want to be considered rude here. That was their only concern. But I think if there's one thing I am nostalgic about, it's probably pornography. Yeah, it's pornography. Because I don't really like today's porn. It's too simplistic. It's too violent. I mean, when you watch a porn video nowadays, everybody on there is already naked. Body parts are slapping together. Fluids are just flying all over the screen. And I haven't even taken off my pants yet. Yeah, you know, I'm lighting candles. I'm trying to set a mood or something. But it doesn't happen. And today's porn is so violent. It's very violent now. I mean, you see these guys on the videos, they're always slapping and choking and spitting on the girls, and it's horrible. And sometimes I'm not sure if I'm watching porn or leaked video evidence from a crime scene, some domestic crime scene. It's hard to tell the difference. Yeah, don't get me wrong, either way, no matter what, I'm getting a boner. But it's just, I don't know what's going on, you know. And I know there's a lot of people out there who say, you know, I don't like porn. I don't believe in watching porn. Nobody should watch porn. And I'm like, that's bullshit, because there's a lot you can learn about yourself by watching porn. There is. Like, for instance, I know from watching porn that I will never ever date a woman who has a good-looking stepdaddy. No way, because I know what happens once mom leaves and she needs the keys to the car, and nobody needs that kind of negative influence in their life, you know. But let's talk about what we're seeing right now. Streets full of water. And barking dogs. And cars and trucks and tuk-tuks and pass apps and just everybody trying to get in on the festivities here. Look at that. Just not just spraying, but I mean like full buckets full of water. Just, yeah, just splashing around. And it's great. And it's fun. And everybody expects it. Everybody knows what to expect. and I kind of feel sorry, kind of, for the people that decide to visit Cambodia without any knowledge of this going on, because every year there's always a few people, right? Very few, but there are some who always freak out because they came here during Khmer New Year. They didn't know it was Khmer New Year, and they think it's like this every single day. And they leave with a very negative impression, maybe. Like, oh man, everywhere I went, they just threw water on me. I don't understand what's going on. But trust me, this happens once a year, and for the 7 years I've been here, this has been fantastic. It's just a lot of fun, you know. I mean, everybody's letting loose. It's the hottest time of the year, and yeah, there's a dog out there, but trust me, it's a friendly dog. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like it's friendly because of his bark, but it's very friendly. I was just out there petting it just a minute ago, actually. But Yeah, it's a very friendly time of the year. People are just having fun. They're welcoming the new year. But these things, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? Look at these giant puppet uh, oh, creatures, whatever they are. I don't know what that's supposed to represent. I don't, but it freaks me out. Let me tell you, I don't like puppets. I don't like dolls. I don't like mannequins. I none of that shit. And seeing these big walking puppets or whatever, and in my mind, I know it's just a costume made out of paper mache and material with a human being inside manipulating it. I understand that, but I don't like it. I decided to leave and just keep going because what's up with the giant puppets, man? I don't know. If anybody else knows, leave me a comment. Let me know what that's supposed to represent because it's nothing I've seen before and it freaked me out a little bit. I don't like that. But all of these people out here are just, again, having a good time, enjoying their new year, their celebration. And I do have to say one thing though, the sidewalk I'm on now, okay, the streets are all flooded with water. The sidewalks I'm on, or this type of sidewalk specifically, this type of sidewalk is one that is coated with something that when you get your feet wet, no matter if you're wearing flip-flops or tennis shoes, it's very, very slick. It's almost like ice. And I have a hard time navigating it, which is why I prefer to walk in the road, even though all these people are now patting me down with baby powder, which is cool. But this sidewalk right here, yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. It's very slick, very slippery. And I don't like the slippery. So I would rather be in the middle of the street where all the cars are, because as you can see, they're not moving that fast. So I'll go out there because it's faster. It's not as slippery. And even people inside the cars, look at that. They're just like, hey, what's going on? Like nobody's trying to shoot at me because I looked at them wrong or anything. You got whole truckloads. Look at that in the back of that truck. All truckloads of people. Just and I'm walking right behind them. I'm in the middle of the road there, between them and another car, trusting that the other car isn't going to thrust forward and sever me at the legs. But these people were really cool. Yeah. Come on, give me some. And right in the middle of the road. Like I'm just walking down the middle of the road right now because it's the safest option. I'll move back to the sidewalk, but I didn't really want to. But sometimes that's the safest place to be. I mean, who knows? You know? But there is a lot of traffic. There is a lot of crowds. And if you're Yeah, even the working girls hiding in the alleys isn't safe for me. I will still say hello, Happy New Year. But even even though there's a lot of cars and a lot of mayhem and madness going on there, I love it. I absolutely love it. And people still love to spray me right in the old twigs and berries there. If you're a man here, trust me, you're a foreign man. The younger people like hitting you in the twigs and berries. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but that's where they aim most of the time. Yeah, but again, I showed you the sidewalk because it's like an ice rink once it's all wet and you're in flip-flops or shoes. Whatever substance they use to coat it is just, yeah, it's not good for navigating if it's wet at all. And I decided to step into a pool of water. Yeah. Hello to you too. And walk in the middle of the road again. And by the way, I don't recommend that. It's not like I'm like, yeah, that's what you should do. But I felt fairly safe there. More than I would walking on the sidewalk, slipping and falling and hitting my life alert button. I'm falling and I can't get up. Nobody wants that. Yeah. Dance it out. We're going to dance it out here. And by the way, behind the camera, I was dancing too, as much as my flailing old limbs would allow. So there was always that. But yeah, like this is away from Pub Street. This isn't even close to Pub Street. And you can see the celebrations here, they go on, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're at or how close to the main tourist area you are. This is yeah, and I let her put some baby powder on me, and there's another one. They were really happy to do that. They were trying to erase my sins and give me good luck in the next life, so, yeah, I'm down for that. And, yeah. Just buckets full of water. Buckets full. But I can't tell you how much a good time I had. And look at this vehicle, like a dune buggy / Jeep type of thing. That was pretty awesome. Sometimes people come out to show their vehicles. And look at this. Like, this is just me walking around with the camera. I'm not telling them to wave. I'm not waving at them. I'm just walking and pointing. And, yeah. That's just the way the Cambodian people are. The Khmer people are very friendly in general. Like, without this time of year. But in this time of year, you just see more of them. And they always have this aura of happiness and joy around them, you know. It always makes it great. Yeah, I love this. That's the most traffic we're gonna see until the next Khmer New Year around these parts, around these here parts, because right now I'm fairly close to where my apartment is, you know. And there's still lots of motorbikes, lots of tuk-tuks, lots of cars, lots of trucks, lots of people waiting to bless you with more water. And I couldn't be happier at this point. Such a great, such a great event. Look at all the waving, all the smiling, unprovoked, again, and I don't know. Cambodia makes me happy. I've always said that. Even outside of Khmer New Year, I've always said that. And this just, every year, this just kind of solidifies that thought. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I can't wait for all of you to come here and experience it for yourself. I think you'll love it too. Alright, so this is the video. They said, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. And it's a video I made. So, you know, whether you liked whether you liked my jokes, you didn't like my jokes, you liked what I had to say, you didn't like what I had to say. None of that matters, because if you're still here, there is something wrong with you, my friend. Why the hell are you still here? But still, I appreciate you. And I thank you. And be sure to check out all my links down below. There are links to Ko-Fi, PayPal, plus all my books. And they're down there. There's a link down there for them also. But also, there are links to other channels. All kinds of awesome channels that are vlogging from this part of the world. And if you're thinking about coming here to retire or something, you should definitely check out all those too. You get a lot of different outlooks, a lot of different opinions, a lot of different scenarios. And you should be doing as much research as you can if you're thinking of moving here. So I've left all those down below for your perusal. And I hope you take advantage of it. Yeah. Khmer New Year's, unparalleled as far as good times go, in my opinion. And at least much better than the regular New Year's in the United States. I absolutely love it. All right. I'll leave you guys with the rest of this voice free. You don't have to listen to me talk anymore. You'll appreciate that. And from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.